And welcome back. My name is George Njuguna, and this is the magazine. And I am with Elizabeth Mutunga, who is sharing her journey with a parent, a dad specifically, who had dementia. And now we're at that point where, you know, he's rested, and you're here pursuing a cause to help the world. How was that?
So initially, pursuing the cause even was not to help the world.
Mm-hmm.
Pursuing the cause was to move forward, because I had felt for those few years, I'd given my all to dementia and I didn't want anything to do with it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I had felt very drained emotionally, psychologically. I wanted a break from this. And I remember I had started an organization then and I packed it. I was like, you know what? It's been real. I'm moving on now to the corporate world. This is where I belong. The sky is the lower limit. I am going.
Yeah.
And so I went back into the corporate world and things were working. Then in 2013, as I was driving down Bagathi, coming from work, I get like 5 phone calls on the same day. And all these people are telling me, you know what, I have a loved one with dementia. Now, what I used to do when my dad was unwell, I used to write just my feelings, my thoughts, what I felt. And they would be shared on a wall. So I think these people went into the net and they found what I had written.
Yeah.
And
this
so
was your social media wall.
Not even, but then we hadn't even, social media was little there in the 2013. It was just starting, but not very strong.
Yeah.
But I'll just write almost like a blog of what I am going through. And then I would use it. It was not even I didn't even have a website then.
Yeah.
I was working with Africa Mental Health then.
Yeah.
So it was on their wall.
Yeah.
And so these ladies called me. Apparently they were all ladies.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I have a husband, I have a sister, I have and the first one calls.
You were like Jonah running to Tarshish.
That was me. The first one I pick, the second one, same story, third one, fourth. And it's the same day. And I remember going down Bagathi and telling God, I think I don't think you understand. I told you from the very beginning, anything to do with dementia, I don't want. And I'm not doing this. And I was quite angry. I was angry
because it's taking you back.
And then bringing back all that I had gone through. And I'm like, I can't do this. I cannot. Then I felt in my spirit, okay, you know what? Let's try and just have this conversation. So I called them. I told them, you know what? Okay. We'll meet on such and such a date at such and such a place. If you feel you can continue. Yeah. If we cannot, we shall just say goodbye and we shall leave it there.
Yeah.
And you can't believe it. From that date, it continued and it went on until 2020 now when there was COVID. And so that's when we stopped having support group meetings like we usually would. So for me, I was like, okay, all right. But I was still working. Then 2014, I am going to work. And I put, we used to use our thumbs as our biometrics. Yeah. And I hear loudly, resign. Oh my God, I think, God, what is it? I agreed to 2013, I agreed to what you said, I have done it. What is it? Why are you saying I don't resign? I'm like, do you know where I've come from, God? And I'm forgetting that I was having this conversation with him. And I mean, and he's always brought me through all this, and now I'm thinking, it's my right. I mean, how can you tell me this?
Yeah.
But he spoke, and of course, as you said, again moment, I ignored. So he let me work 2014. That 2014, actually, I remember going to London for a training on dementia and how to set up an organization and all those things. I'm doing it, yes, but I'm not committed.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'll start here, but that is not where I'm heading. So I worked 2014, I worked 2015, 2016, January. I go to work and I'm given a retrenchment letter. And I'm told, go home. And that was the end of my corporate life. So I think if I had listened, it would have been easier. But I did not. So I was retrenched. And in the background also, my kids, I think I was very busy with the corporate job. I was running like 10 countries. I was in charge of 10 countries.
Yeah.
And so also from the home front, I was too busy. And so my kids also had started praying and telling God, oh God, we need mommy back. Mommy is too busy. And this is their prayer.
And God answers those kids' prayers.
Answers their prayer.
Yeah.
And so I remember one time when they were praying and I asked, because I thought, what we really want? And I'm like, we want you to be picking us and dropping us and taking us to school. And I'm thinking, yeah, but you're in the school bus. And even if you're not in the school bus, I'll get somebody to drop them. No, we don't want anyone with you. And I'm thinking, no, we are not having this conversation. So 2016 comes.
January. Brown letter. Are they usually brown or white?
This one was white.
I think they're usually white.
White.
Yeah.
And so I go home and I'm thinking, okay, what do I do? 8 to 5, I used to do something and I was busy. So now my phones are not ringing as much as they used to ring. I'm thinking, okay, what do people do out here? You feel like in the wilderness trying to figure you.
Yeah.
And then the Lord reminded me, oh, you know that company, that's the put it, I don't know, you put it somewhere. And they dust it, and start. Thinking, do I have to do this? Then I said, okay, anything to keep me busy. And then, of course, I was picking my kids and dropping them.
At least they're happy.
And they're happy.
Their prayer is answered.
And the prayer has been answered. And actually, they did very well that year when I sat with him for his exam. He was doing his class 8.
Yeah.
And that is how ADOC now came about. Because before it was Alzheimer's Association of Kenya, then now it became Alzheimer's and Dementia Organization of Kenya. And so in 2016 registered as an NGO. And that is how it started. And the Lord has been faithful. I mean, we have been able to support quite a number of caregivers and to just direct them into the space where they can get help, both with their loved ones, for themselves also, and how to move forward. Yeah.
And how fulfilling has it been for you?
I'm telling you, even if you are given millions of shillings, the joy of seeing someone understand what their loved one is going through. Half of these things actually, it's not like you're paid. Yeah. It's more of a volunteer kind of a position. Yeah. So one day we shall be fully funded and we can pay people salaries. Yeah. But that just that joy. And also just going to visit people living with dementia, I sing. And I use music to minister to them and speak to them. And so I go to a family and I ask, what is the song that they love? And I learn the song. Sometimes it's really in their own language, so I have to try. I remember there's this lady I went to visit. She's from Embu. And my mom is Kikuyu, my dad is Kamba. So I thought, see, when you meet say the two languages, I can do this. And I tried. Yes, I tried. Oh, and she kept looking at me and kept looking at me. And I'm thinking, I'm trying to communicate with you. And I was trying to smile, and then she just called her daughter and told her daughter, this friend of yours is hungry. Go to the kitchen and give her food. But later, she got into her shamba, and that was so touching. She picked these mangoes, and they were rotten mangoes. But she put them in a bag, and she brought to me. Just that gesture. And she gave me the mangoes. And I asked the daughter, how do you say thank you, Moana? And she told me, and I told her, thank you. And I gave her a hug. And of course, I was not going to use these mangoes, but I picked the mangoes and put them in the car. But when we really communicated was when we were doing the singing. And we really sang. And a lot of people, that's how good is one. And our friend of mine also, he had a wonderful, he was a singer. And I would come in and I'm like, hi, how are you? And the first would keep quiet. And I'm like, it's me. My name is Elizabeth. I've come to see you again. And he'd say, hi. And then after some time, I start singing and he sings along. So that has been really a way for me to communicate with them and just be a blessing in a small way.
Connect.
It's amazing. It's amazing because you see another side of them. They may not be very present, but they have it still in them. So for me, it's really it's a joy.
Yeah.
It's a joy. Yeah.
Back to your dad, because that was the basis of your training.
Yes.
They say I was watching listening to a podcast, and someone said that yes, these people might not, their memory may be wiped out, but there's one little thing that brings them back, and they remember a lot of things. What was that for your dad?
My dad was music. It was singing. My dad loved singing.
Yeah.
That's actually what we all got our singing. We all sing.
Yeah.
And I remember just even before he passed on, we did a service for him, and we sang one of his favorite songs in Kamba. And my dad by then had very many mini strokes. And so he was at a point where he just was slumped on the wheelchair, not talk much. But when he started singing, he sat up. He brightened up, and he started, you could see, because he loved conducting.
Yeah.
And when we would practice to go and sing in church, he would really conduct us and tell us, no, change that, do this, you know what. And so he took it up again and raised his hands and everything. And as the song continued, because he knows it in his mind how it goes.
Yeah.
You could see him slumping on the wheelchair, and then finally, when the song ended. But for me, so we would do a lot of singing with Dad, and that for him was what would really bring him back.
Oh, thank you so much for allowing us into your space and for sharing your story.
One of the things I also want to tell people.
Yeah.
It's a very frustrating condition. It's very difficult. But one thing, I went to visit a family, and after the training, and I told them all these things I knew about dementia. One of the gentlemen told me, but madam, I want to differ with you. You've said that there's no cure for this condition.
Yeah.
Yet I think there's a cure. Like, oh, please tell me what could be the cure. It says love.
Wow.
Love is a cure.
Yeah.
And actually, I use that now a lot because I realize when you show them love, even a lot of caregivers when you're training, when we teach them that just show him love. And sometimes even the love may be just not arguing back, just take a walk away and then come back. They don't remember it is you, but you come back and they smile and things are different.
Yeah.
And that makes a difference in their lives. And also giving back to the Lord, I can tell you for a fact, has its benefits.
Yeah.
In 2020, I got very sick. I got COVID.
Yes.
And it started as a knee in the pain in the knee, and went in for a few checkups here and there. And the doctors felt I was getting arthritis, and they're like, you know what, we'll give you jabs weekly for 3 weeks. And so that was around August. So I have the jabs taken and everything, and I start noticing I'm coughing. And so I'm like, I call them and I'm like, I notice I'm coughing. Could it be because of the jabs? So they say, okay, today is a Friday. Why don't you come in on Monday and then we'll check you out? I'm like, okay. And so I wait for Monday. But Saturday night, I get this very painful, like cramps, but they're not cramps. And so my daughter says I screamed. She's never had me scream like that. I can't even remember. And so, and the week before I had gone shopping, and I realized moving from the shop to the car, I was really struggling
to breathe.
But in my mind, I've done everything we have been told to do. And if it was COVID, it comes in such a way, how you've been told it has this symptoms. So, and I can remember my sister telling me, go and have yourself checked. And I'm like, no, it's not COVID. She's like, no, just go check. I'm like, no, it's not COVID. And we have this. In fact, you reach a point and said, you know what, let's not talk about it. To talk Osama. We only service. And so this night, I'm in so much pain. So I'm rushed to hospital. They check, they put me on painkillers. The pain subsides. That was around midnight. And go back home. About 1:30 again, the pain becomes worse again. Taken back. So the doctor says, just sleep. So that we check. I mean, you admitted, let's check you properly and see what the problem is. And so they check and they tell me, oh, you have a burst cyst. And you are, we need to clean you up. Now, I had taken about 4 years to finally defend my thesis. And the doctor now is telling me that he wants to clean me up. And I'm like, doctor, I have a thesis to defend. I don't think this can kill me. So let me go home, defend my thesis. Then come back. I'm coming back. Yeah. See, I will be so right. Yeah. Nothing will happen to me. Yeah. So I go home. And I remember sitting outside here. And then I get this palpitations. My heart is beating in a very weird way. So I called a friend of mine who's a doctor, and I'm like, no, I think there's something wrong with me. And that lady is usually so busy. How she came, that was God. So she comes and looks at me. I don't know what she saw because she didn't tell me anything and it didn't show on her face. But when I was going into the house to do something, I found them whispering in the kitchen with my husband. And I'm hearing she needs to go now. She needs to go now. So I'm like, go where? And they say hospital. And I'm like, what is wrong? There's no, just go to hospital. And I think you need to see a cardiologist because there's something wrong with your heart. And I'm like, okay. So I go, I see a cardiologist. I don't take lifts because I have been in lifts and gotten stuck, and the last one actually sank in. So I prefer to walk up the stairs. So I have this phobia which is I need to work on.
Don't worry. The road I usually used to come.
Yes.
We used to come to your place. I got an accident just over the bypass. And whenever I pass there, it's a whole difference.
I don't think some things go away.
No, they don't.
Time.
Yeah.
And so, so I walk up the stairs, and by the time I get to the end of the stairs, I'm so out of breath. The doctor is. So the first I'm put on oxygen, and I'm thinking, interesting. By the time I was getting down, my oxygen level was at 45. When the doctor said, you'll still do a COVID test, just to be sure. But the night before, also because of what I was feeling, I told my husband, why don't we also just go and check? When I told my sister, no, we are not having this conversation, now here I am telling my husband, why don't we go and just check? Just check.
Doesn't harm. Yeah.
So, but when I looked, I think I didn't look very good. So the doctor called Avenue Nursing Home, and I was admitted at Avenue Nursing Home. The room I was supposed to go into, somebody else was put there because she was really ill. So I was put in another one as I waited for my results to come so that we can decide how they're going to handle me.
Yeah.
I slept that night. Unfortunately, that other patient rested. Then in the morning, I was welcomed by them wearing PPEs. And so that meant COVID positive. Yeah. Now, why I brought this story in, my lungs, 95% of my lungs were eaten by COVID. I only had 5% of my lungs working. Yeah. So I had to be intubated. At some point, the doctors told me I passed on. They had to resuscitate me back.
Yeah. God was not done with you yet.
He was not. So these families that I have helped prayed and really prayed. This sister who almost never went to high school is now a doctor. Yeah. She flew into Kenya. My sister lives in the States. Yeah. She flew into Kenya to take care of me. Wow. And to make sure that everything worked, because now my house had to be, after I came out of hospital, I was in ICU for a month. I came home using oxygen. From November, I started breathing on my own, March 2021. But why I brought this story was, when you serve the Lord, He never leaves you, nor forsakes you.
Yeah.
You help someone, along the way, they'll help you. My sister, who, like I said, almost never went to high school, is a doctor. God brought her in to help me when I was at my lowest. These caregivers who I helped were the ones who are standing in prayer for me. So some of these jobs, yes, there might be no money. Yes, it might be tiring. Yes, it might feel like it's an uphill task. But when the Lord tells you, do it, do it. Because you'll never have peace until you do it.
Yeah. I got fired 2 months into my job. Wow. And I had the exact voice
Telling me. So He speaks.
Yes, He does. And He speaks very loudly.
Yes.
Whenever He feels like you're not hearing Him. Yeah.
And you try and muffle it up, but it never goes.
Yeah.
It never goes.
And just to add on what you're saying, it's like a debt to Him.
Yes.
And for Him, He comes back and repays it very, very well.
That's true.
We may not understand it, we may not see it.
And I'll tell you for a fact, and it is true. Because there's a time I would be called by families, and they're as far as Kitui.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at my fuel gauge, and I'm like, God, I don't have the money to go, but God, I'm going.
Yeah.
And I start the journey. And this particular day, somebody calls me, who has not called me for years. He says, I feel the Lord has told me to bless you with this amount of money. It was the exact amount to take me to Kitui and bring me back. Yes.
And for those who don't know where Kitui is not...
It's not here.
It's not a kilometer away.
And then also, when I got sick, my bill was 6 million. 6 million. And the same people I helped, one way or the other, are the same ones. While it's on here to make me get out of hospital.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is God.
Yeah, it is Him.
And may you continue serving Him.
Amen.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for having me too.
And it is truly wonderful to see people out here who are doing great exploits for God. It may look like it's small, but you're doing a lot for people. Thank you so much for tuning in, and see you next week. God bless you.